So pumped to come on and do this right now. You are creating all of your timelines and everything that's showing up in your reality. You know that, right? This dream that we are living in and vibrating in is such a trip. It's so much fun when we actually tune in to the fact that we're creating all of it. And yes, the conscious collective is also co-creating all of that. But what I'm going to speak about right now is basically how to exit the 3D matrix and consciously create new timelines. And so to start off with, if you're wondering how to exit a matrix, when I used to hear that term, it used to feel scary to me, like we're trapped in the matrix like Keanu Reeves and there's no way out. And it really sucks. And this is bullshit. You know what I mean? However, it's all part of this learning journey of awakening that we decided to dive back into in this incarnation. And we're so powerful. We're so much more powerful than we have been taught to believe, that's for sure. And that many times that we give credit for. It's easy to be in our ego and say how great we are in things, but anybody that needs to do that is just operating. There's a level of fear underneath that, to have to prove to yourself, to prove yourself to people. So the timelines, the best way that I can describe them is they're different dimensions. And these timelines are like mini movies happening billions of times a second. But we've slowed down time here in 3D, so it seems like everything is one continuous flow. But in reality, we're constantly jumping in and out of different timelines, and they all do go seamless because that's the way 3D, 4D, 5D, whatever works. I don't have all that figured out. I don't need to. Don't believe anything that I say, and don't believe yourself. Going down the rabbit hole in awakening requires and invites us to question everything. And our belief system is actually our prison. Yeah. Every belief that you're rigid in is blocking a doorway to infinite other timelines and possibilities that could come in, and they're there. It's just that when we hold rigid in a belief like this is the way it is, and the only reason we would hold onto a belief rigidly is because of fear of the unknown. And when we start to have that big cosmic laugh and realize that we're creating all of this, then we can start to awaken every morning from what we call the sleeping dream, step into this other dream that we may call the awake dream. They could be totally the opposite. Going to sleep could be waking up, and waking up could be going back to sleep into 3D, 4D, 5D, whatever D you're operating on. So what I want to share that's really, really life-changing is about, once again, understanding our frequency and our vibration. And to me, this seems very easy because I've been dealing with this for many years. I met my teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz, in 2001 and started going down the rabbit hole. And so it's been almost exactly 20 years. But for those that might not understand when I'm talking about frequency and vibration, what I'm doing is I'm simplifying this down to the simplest thing. And many of you on there are like, yeah, Jeff, get on with it. We already know what frequency and vibration is. I understand. But for anybody that may not see this, once you get this and you go, oh, okay, then it simply becomes, how many tools do you have in your arsenal to consciously track your moment to moment vibration and frequency with every thought, every word, and every emotion? Because those are the building blocks. Those are every thought, every word, and every emotion is a vibrational waveform. Even if you can't see it, it's a vibrational waveform. So let's think of our thoughts, words, and emotions. High emotions like love, excitement, low vibrational emotions like hate, fear, unworthiness, doubt, judgment, triggers. And let's think of them, these frequencies of vibration, as magnets. So every time we have a thought, or we speak a word, or we have an emotion, we're shifting into another timeline. But because time's slowed down right now, we don't really notice that. And maybe it doesn't always show up immediately. Like you might say, well, I've been pulling into manifestation, you know, a new job or a boyfriend or whatever, and it hasn't shown up yet. Some things take time. Some things are not meant to show up for you at a specific time because it would interfere with your soul's agreed upon journey and lessons. So there's a constant invitation to be balancing acceptance for where you are. If we're always trying to get somewhere else and pull something in better, then what's that doing? That's stealing our present moment right now, because we're saying that I want more, I need more in order to be happy. And there's different variations of that. So I'm not saying if you're desiring to pull in more, I'm doing it every day. I intend to reach millions of people this year. I intend to take the Waking Up in the Dream experience out to many different countries that I've been invited to go to. You know, pulling in a new band project, global tour, many, many things that I'm working with and my friends. However, it's the frequency that we are vibrating in when we have that thought of, yeah, I can't wait to, you know, do my first event in Australia, in the UK, and Bulgaria, or, man, I've been trying to pull in my soulmate. He hasn't shown up yet. And, you know, there's a different level of frequency to those thoughts. And we must become aware and 100% responsible for those frequencies, and to set up a system to be able to track those moment-to-moment frequencies in our body all day long. And that's just one of the things that we do in the Waking Up in the Dream. And I just switched it to a 90-day journey, because 30 days of going through the first few chapters in the book just gets people to wake up and start to see the belief system. And they're like, oh my God, it's been running my entire life. And then we start the dismantling process. And so 30 days is too short. So I'm changing it to 90 days. And I'm also creating this week a new group for the people that have gone through the group and graduated, so to speak, and also people that want to come in and be involved in a private group where I'm going to share my daily and weekly trainings. And we're going to do one call a week, one call a month. And it's going to be a 2+ hour call where people are going to be able to get their questions answered. They're going to be able to get on and be mirrored in the group. And when I talk about mirroring, that is the process of asking a question, and then we're going to dissect it and dismantle it. The wounds, the trauma, whatever happened to you, the beliefs, the lack of self-love, the injuries, the limiting belief systems around money, anything. And I'm going to take you individually and group collectively through a mirroring process once a month. And it's so valuable. It's the most powerful way that I know to teach, share, and to what happens in the group is this big multi-dimensional mirror gets created because of everybody else's intention and reflections. And it's brilliant. So if you're interested in that at all, send me a private message, or you can go to the portal2awakening.org website and dive into that a little more. The website was just redone, and it just launched yesterday at the same URL, portal2awakening.org. And I also, yesterday, portal2awakening.com came up, so I bought that too. In another couple of days, that'll be working. So either portal2awakening.org or portal2awakening.com. Share it with your friends if you find this valuable. And so let's get back to exiting the 3D matrix and consciously creating these timelines. So once again, before I do that, I'm going to check in on my page because it wouldn't load. And I want to see if anybody has any questions. I'm going to do my best to move through this as quick as possible. We have 11 viewers. I love it. I'm going to move through this as quick as possible so you guys aren't waiting. I know there's a lot to get to in your life, and I greatly appreciate everybody that shows up. Hey, Tim. Hey, Deb. Hey, everybody. Katie, Viv. Okay, so let's do a quick little meditation. I'm going to make this very quick, but let's drop into our hearts. Let's close our eyes. If you can, stop doing everything that you're doing, multitasking. Some of you may not, some of you may not be able to. You could come back and watch this later. But right now, you're creating your reality in a timeline. And so if you go, I can't stop right now, I keep scrolling, I got all this stuff to do, just notice that's not right or wrong, good or bad. As my teacher Miguel would say, it's just a choice. And so that choice, if you're doing something else while we're doing this, is taking away from your this moment presence. And it's okay. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying what I want to share with you was really life-changing for me. So what we're going to do, I invite you, just take a couple slow, deep breaths. Begin to feel your body. I mean, feel it. What are you feeling? How do you feel about yourself? Do you truly love yourself? Do you still have things that you need to clear? I do. I play with it every day. But I notice it and I love it. What's your energy doing right now? From your feet up to your head. Run a scan. Get really intimate with your body. Breathe in and out. Feel the love that's happening right now. Every breath is unconditional love supporting you in every way. Those trillions of cells in your body right now only have one purpose, and that's to unconditionally love and serve you. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I don't know if other people think about this every day, but part of our morning gratitude and creating our day process and the waking up and the dream journeys is to consciously create our day every morning by going into gratitude and giving love to every single cell. So do your best to be detached from the mind. Keep feeling that unconditional love going into your lungs, and then know that from the lungs, it's going out through all these little channels and capillaries to oxygenate your blood, to give life and love to every one of your organs that's doing nothing but 100% unconditionally loving you in every moment to create this fascinating, mind-blowing vehicle called your body. If that doesn't make you smile, I don't know what will. And notice when you smile that your vibration automatically goes up one more notch or 1,000 notches because you just relaxed and you said everything is perfectly amazing and okay in this present moment. Because it is so amazing. So this energy field that you're feeling and creating right now, that a lot of the time is running on autopilot during the day, is 100% responsible for the timelines that you are shifting into in every second. Remember? In every second or nanosecond, we're talking time here, even though it doesn't exist, but just to give the mind something to understand, to ground in an understanding that you can use to empower yourself. So there's all these different timelines. So listen to this, keep your eyes closed if they're still closed. Every thought every word, and every emotion, which is the fuel that either raises the vibration of that thought or word, or it lowers the vibration of a thought or word, is creating a different timeline in that split-second moment. What a great thing to know. Why weren't we taught this in school? The new schools that are coming, the Waking Up in the Dream School and all these other schools, they're going to be taught to kids as soon as they're old enough to process this stuff, to understand how to process emotions, stories, triggers if there are any. I don't think there'll be any triggers in 5D. Judgment can't exist in 5D. So this is where we're moving to. And we're not stuck in 3D right now. We're actually moving back and forth between different dimensions, depending on how long and consistent we can hold our frequency. So this is the invitation. This is the practice every day. I invite everyone that I journey with or do sessions with or that's in the monthly groups to set 15 alarms on their phone every day. I have mine every day. They go off at 11:11, 12:12, 1:22, 2:22, 3:33, 4:44, 5:55. I play with it. I have fun. The synchronicities show up in my life every day now. I don't even try. I look up at my computer. It's 12:22. I mean, it's like, you would say that it's magical, but it's not, because you're creating it. It's not random. And when we finally get this and go, oh, wow, this is challenging to undo all the beliefs and all the triggers and my wounds of shame and worthiness and fear and doubt. And yeah, well, those things will come up, but they're actually your teachers. They're just tapping you on the shoulder going, psst, remember, don't judge yourself. Just come present right now. And every time we have a judgment or a trigger, I teach everybody to ask this one super empowering, transformational question. First thing, we notice the judgment, we notice the trigger, we stop and take a breath. What that does, it stops the ego from running its story, because it likes to chew on judgments and triggers. It feeds off of them. It's been taught to do that. So the breath stops the story from running any further, the justification or the defense mechanism. And then we ask the most empowering and transformational question ever. What is this trying to teach me or show me about me in this moment? This is mastery. And this will fast track your awakening process faster than, reading 1,000 books on whatever it is. It's the inner work. Putting more information on top of things underneath that are still running, the programs, let's call them, isn't going to dismantle the program. The program can only be dismantled by lovingly and gently going in and asking, I feel you. I feel unworthiness in my stomach. I feel fear in my stomach. I feel anxiety. I feel anger. I'm pissed off at my father. We cannot move into higher dimensions and timelines without addressing these and healing them. Healing, or I got that backwards, feeling is healing. Truly feeling on the deepest level, to where it comes up to where you can have tears. Tears are the most healing thing ever. Tears will clear cancer, tumors, anything out of somebody's body. Loving yourself, doing mirror work every day. Everybody that I journey with, that I work with, I don't like to use the word work because it's a spell, but that shit don't work on me anymore. So everybody that I work with, they do mirror work every day. They look into the mirror deeply and they love themselves. They look into their eyes and they see what comes up. If any judgments come up, they go, okay, I see you, ego. I know you've been trained by all the ads in the media to what perfection looks like, the brainwashing of the 3D external world. But I'm not going to allow that to steal my joy and happiness anymore. I'm not going to judge myself anymore. In fact, I'm going to make a commitment to eliminate judgment from my life. And I have people ask me, Jeff, we have to judge. How can we eliminate judgment? It's just natural. And I explain to them that there's a big difference between a judgment and an observation. An observation is looking at something, and then the mind tells you, oh, I like that, I don't like that, that's cool, that's green, that's red, that's beautiful, that's not. And sometimes there'll be, I even do it. I'll see people, and the first thing my mind will do will kind of rate them based on how they look. It's a program that I'm doing my best to eliminate because I don't consciously do that. I walk around in my heart every day with the mantra, I love everybody. And I do it every day, and it's changed my life. Because guess what? Those people that you think are everybody are you. They're you showing up as a different aspect in this multi-dimensional, these timelines. And you could go, no, I'm not Hillary, I'm not a pedophile, I'm not the Pope. No, you may not be, but in one dimension, timeline, or maybe lifetime, maybe you played that same role. So the way to heal and create the new earth paradigm is instead of judging them and hoping that they go through pain and hell and anguish, that's just the ego. What we do is we shine light on them and we say, thank you for playing this role in the awakening and remembering and the healing of humanity and returning to the light and accepting only love. Where in my reality, anything but love is just not acceptable. And that doesn't mean I turn my back. That doesn't mean I walk around going, I won't look at the dark. If you don't look at the dark and you're all up here in, the spiritual community that goes, oh, I only focus on the light. That's bypassing. That's not going to work. All the people that say they're star seeds and all this and that, we're all star seeds. But saying you're a star seed and not being willing to go in and do the deeper work, then it's bypassing. And it's not going to work because you can't vibrate into a higher dimensional timeline if you haven't cleared that stuff. Here's the beautiful thing about what they call shadow work. Shadow work, looking at your dark side. Why do they name it that? I call it healing and liberation exercises. I don't call it work. I don't call it shadow, and I don't call it dark, because that just sets the mind up to not want to deal with it. Ooh, it's intense, it's heavy. No. I work with people on one call where they clear 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 years of a wound that's been underneath the surface, simply because they're willing to go into it and feel it 100%. Feel it, acknowledge it, say, I know this was part of my soul's contract or it wouldn't have happened. And I forgive myself and every single other person that was involved. Usually it's a mother, a father, or a relative, or somebody that you grew up with when you were a child. I intend that you're getting this download because it's truly life-changing. And there is no bypassing it, but it's so easy to heal and clear a wound. And if anybody's having difficulty, don't get triggered, don't get mad at me. I still have anxiety. I still pick my nails sometimes. I'm diving into all this stuff, but I love myself. And I know that's an energy that's coming up to get my attention. And I pay attention to it with love. And I gently meet it. And I talk to myself like I would a little child. When we become adults, things get too strict, too rigid. The belief system kills us and keeps us prisoners. Any belief that you have 99% of them are probably keeping you a prisoner in a box, only because if you were to let go of your entire belief system, who would you be? That's scary to the ego. My ego's name is Larry. I invite you to name your ego so you can begin to see when it pops up and have fun with it. Get back to being like a little child. All this intensity keeps you from dropping into a higher dimensional timeline. You can only get into the higher timelines through the heart portal. The heart portal isn't holding judgment. It's not holding resentment. It's not holding anger. It's not holding on to stories from the past, because if you're bringing a story from the past in, a story that happened in 3D, then how do you expect to be in 5D when you're carrying 3D on your back? You can't do it because the vibrations don't match. I see some light bulbs going off out there. And I'm only talking to myself right now. Everything I say is for Jeff and Larry. Larry doesn't really want to take it all in, but it's okay. He knows I love him and he's settling down moment by moment. So, exiting the 3D matrix, consciously creating new timelines. Once again, I'm going to invite you to set those 15 alarms on your phone when you get off of this transmission, or for whoever watches this later. It'll take you 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes if you've never done it before. Go into your clock, set an alarm, then there'll be a plus button, add another one. However long you want, put them on vibrate or put them on a low, very nice little chimey thing. You don't have to catch all of them. But just think about if you catch 5 a day, or you'll see that they were there and you can come back. And here's how I do it. Every time one of my alarms goes off, it's trippy to watch myself talking back with my eyes closed, but I like to channel that way, I guess. So when I see that an alarm goes off, even if I've missed it, I take that time to get present. I drop in, I close my eyes, I take a breath. And I'm like, where am I right now? Because I know that I'm creating my timeline right now. So am I in the past? Am I in the future? Where am I right now? So I get grounded. I smile, which raises my frequency, drops me into my heart. It expands my heart, tells every cell in my body that not only everything is okay, but that I'm loving on it. And that further increases my vibration. And then from there, I get to recreate my day. I'm calling in the perfect, amazing synchronicities of people, abundance, downloads, health, whatever you want to call it, magic, miracles. It happens every day. It's happening every moment. Every breath is a miracle. We just think it's got to be some big mind-blowing thing that never happens. And magic is you. A miracle is not really a miracle. It's your belief or the collective belief. So start taking responsibility for creating your own magic and miracles. You can pray to your guides if you want to, if you believe in that and that works for you. But I invite you to take 100% responsibility, because the guides are in your head. You're the number one guide. And the more that you trust that, and the more that you embody that from a place of love, and begin, write notes, write them on your hand, write it on your forehead in reverse. I am creating my timelines with my thoughts, my words, and my emotions in every moment. And begin to play with that and watch what happens. So it's almost 1 a.m. on the East Coast, almost 11 p.m., I believe, in California. Anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in, for sharing, and for all your love and the wonderful comments. I always go back and read them. If there's any questions, or if you have any questions about coming into the new monthly group that's going to start with the 1 call a month, it's a most empowering journey. And you're going to have time to get your questions answered. It's, for the energetic investment, it's a no-brainer. And so if you have questions, reach out to me. Thank you to everybody that shares this. Feel free to share it with anybody that could benefit from these downloads. took me a long time to figure this stuff out. I studied with my teacher, you know, in shamanism and going down the rabbit hole and self-love and beliefs and quantum physics and everything for, 10 years. And I spent another 7 years before I put together the Waking Up in the Dream book. These shirts are available too now. So if anybody wants one, let me know. And on the back, it says raising conscious awareness, one thought at a time. And just want to thank everybody. You're all amazing. Thanks for being part of my dream. I love you all. And I look forward to connecting very soon. Many blessings. Be good to yourselves. Come back and watch this again. You'll be glad you did. Thank you.